Hmm. Okay. Didn't expect that. It's really nice. Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video, as you can see in the corner, we're going to be doing some more music reactions, and today we're going to be doing some video game music reactions, and today's game is once again, we're going to be doing some Final Fantasy XVI of the pre-release soundtrack. So as of recording, the game is not out yet. I think out in a couple days actually. Yeah, it is out in like 3 days. Jeez. So yes, as I'm recording this on the 19th, so the game is not out yet. We did the Find the Flame track last week, which I really enjoyed, so I wanted to do more of the soundtrack that has been out, and today we're going to do the track called Dominance. So, if you're new here, how this works is that we're going to react to the video all the way through, or the song all the way through, and then we'll stop, and then I'll write notes during the initial reaction, and afterwards we'll talk about things, and then we'll play the song again, and then we'll stop and start and talk about the stuff that we analyse. Before we do that though, please do like the video if you like it, and subscribe to the channel as well, so you can be here for every single one of these videos I upload. And please also do leave a comment as well, because it helps my videos out, so I appreciate that. But also, you can leave your requests for songs in the comments below, and I'll make sure that we can get those onto the list and get them uploaded, which I've done many times. So please put your requests in. But for this song, I'm expecting epicness of high levels in a Final Fantasy soundtrack. What I will say is, before we get into the song, is that I am planning on streaming a playthrough of this, so just keep an eye on my Twitter or the community tab on the channel, just for any updates on that. If you're interested in watching me play through this game, because as I said before, this is going to be my top release for this year, definitely. Let's get into the reaction, and then let's listen to Dominance from the Final Fantasy XVI pre-release soundtrack in 3, 2, 1, go. Interesting, very interesting. Okay. Didn't expect that. It's really nice. Yeah, okay. There's a lot here, man. There's a lot here. Sick, man. Oh, yeah. We stole that here. That carries on into other songs. Alright, hold on. That was really good. It's a short track. I believe it is from the Dominance trailer, and they've probably just taken bits out of it to make it into a excuse me, into a proper song. One thing that I just need to look up is what is that called? Oh yes, yeah, I remember. I don't need to look it up. Okay, so there's a lot of really, really nice stuff in there, and I think, I mean, my favorite video game composer of the moment has to be so good for me. I think he just outdoes himself every single time. He's a genius in so many ways, and he and his team, the people he works with, of course, have just, you know, they knock it out the park every time with all of the expansions and releases from Final Fantasy XIV, and now in this as well. I expect it to be just as good as FF14, if not better. So let's get back into it. I wrote quite a few things down, or wrote quite a few things down, so I think it should be a lot of interesting things to talk about. So let's get straight back into it, and let's try and make sure these videos are a little bit shorter than they usually are. Okay, so let's go in 3, 2, 1, go. So what I find interesting about the start, and I've played that, if you haven't played it, I highly recommend it if you have not played it, because it is fantastic. But where I'm going with that is the vocal is that of, you know, it's a child choir, from what it sounds like. It's all very young voices, probably represented of, if you could see you can't really see my mouse, but in the fire bit here, you could see there's the young kid character, which is your brother, of the protagonist's brother, in the game. So then maybe that's like kind of a representation of that. Also, it starts off with really nice light piano of the classic Final Fantasy prelude, which is just playing through different arpeggios. Basically, that's all it is. But it is one of my favorite pieces of music ever written. Is the Final Fantasy prelude? I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I think the way that is utilized in all of the Final Fantasy games is really, really cool and really, really interesting. I think probably my favorite prelude is FF14, but this one is all the one that they use in the menu for FF16 is also really, really nice. But yes, you're really nice, really innocent, and also with the prelude in there, just reminding you that this is a Final Fantasy game that you're listening to and watching, playing. And also, you've got the strings underneath. They're playing quite lightly, but you do have that kind of staccato dun 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 dun, which is just keeping the pace up. It's keeping it dramatic, but it's not too overbearing just yet. Yeah, and then we have like the full-bodied choir singing in like a full chest voice, very powerful sounding vocal, and then we get into these really dramatic kind of staccato strings, very aggressively played, to bring in, you know, the drama of the, you know, what's going on. I just think that's so nice. It's kind of like you've got all of this very classical sounding music so far. You've got the arpeggio that I've at the start, into the prelude. I actually think it might be played by like a harp or something, and that's very like classical sounding. The vocals are all very classical sounding, and then you have the electronic drums come in, which is a really nice juxtaposition because it really works. It really builds like a really nice groove into it. I mean, they could have used like just a normal drum kit, but to have that kind of more electronic sound, synth sounding beats, separates it apart. And like this is often used in FF14 if you've played through it. There's loads of tracks that are like this, that have this kind of slight electronic influence, which is really, really interesting. It makes it much more interesting to listen to. And you have this like full male choir now singing quite low in the register. It's baritones probably, voices, maybe basses as well. So it's just super like, it's like dense. It's like masculine. It's powerful. It makes everything sound. It makes like the soundscape much larger. It makes everything sound much bigger, much more epic, because of that. And also you've got the strings underneath it playing quite low as well, following the same melody line, which is also just accentuates the melody. And then you've got the higher strings coming in just now, playing the harmony on top of that. Again, it's really, really nice. Really, really nice. So, yeah, then you've got these strings here that's playing really staccato, really high up, and it's just descending. And it's descending through, chromatically through the scale, just going down, basically. And then it just hits on that semitone or that half step down, and it's just on that like minor note, which makes it just really uncomfortable. It's just like, ooh, what's happening here? Something's not right. That little note there, I wonder if I can play it again. That one. It's just like, ooh, something's wrong here. It's just keeping that intrigue there. They could have just gone down chromatically quite easily if they wanted to, and it would have been fine. But to add that little bit in there, it just keeps the intrigue of the listener and the viewer of the track. It's really interesting. Really interesting. And it just kind of swipes us straight back into the action, throws us right back up into the air, and we're back with the really large sound that we've heard. And I really like that they keep the a really legato high strings on this, just to kind of soar over the top, and it cuts through really nicely, just to add a bit of a different kind of flavor to what we've had already, which is really nice. And as I said, the vocal makes it sound really grand, but having that horn section underneath also playing the melody line as well kind of really accentuates the power of that's in here. I mean, the song's called Dominance, so it's about, well, dominating. It's about, well, who knows, really? Obviously, it's about being dominant in whatever way you kind of want to interpret it. So that's why there has to be this kind of overbearing, powerful sound. And also, it makes it sound like the horns with the choir and stuff makes it sound really regal. It sounds like kind of medieval, but in a way, but like very regal and very, royal. Well, yeah, regal, royal. That very I can't think of the word. Very regal, very regal. We'll just go with regal. Then adding the melody with the strings again, more isolated, but you've kind of got like a low string underneath it, which is keeping it grounded with the electronic beat back in, which is really nice. And then we'll have this horn bit, which is, you know, it's ascending up, and it's very grand, and it's very heroic, and it's... Obviously, this is the end of the trailer, right? So that's why they've done that, to kind of show the screen of the logo or whatever. But, reminding you that, you know, there's a hero in the story, and that's the person that we embody. Nah. Yeah, I mean, it's such a small part of the song, but it might be my favourite part of the whole thing, where it's got that, like, really low horn section of the prelude, and it just makes it sound so big, and it's, again, it's at the end of the song, it's reminding you that this is Final Fantasy. This is from a Final Fantasy soundtrack, this is from a Final Fantasy game, it's reminding us where we are. But it's so big and it's so dramatic and the sound is so wide and dense that it just really makes it hit home and stick with you, and I just love it. It's probably, as I said, my favourite part of that whole song. But I think we'll end the... Well, I'm not going to keep the video going any longer, so we can end the video here. So, let me know what you thought of the song as well, in the comments below. And is there anything that you like about it that I didn't talk about? Put that in the comments as well. I love reading stuff like that. Also, put in your suggestions of recommendations of songs you want to hear on the channel. Is there anything else from the Final Fantasy XVI soundtrack that you want to hear? Or is there anything else from all of the Final Fantasy games that you want to hear? Put those in the comments below. Or anything, any other game, any other franchise, anything like that. I'm more than happy to listen to anything. Put it in the comments below. But having said all that, please do like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel as well, so you can be here for when I do the rest of these. And having said all of that, thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.